Space Jam fans, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. Space Jam 2, entitled Space Jam: A New Legacy, just dropped their trailer, and I just went ahead and spent so much time diving through every frame of this Space Jam: A New Legacy trailer to bring you guys a good breakdown, point out Easter eggs you might have missed, also help you better understand the plot and what is going down in this movie, because some details might surprise you. So along with letting me know your guys' opinions down below about what you thought of the Space Jam 2 trailer, did it surprise you? Do you like the vibe it's going for? Can you believe all this madness happening in the movie? I'm also just gonna beg you, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. I really put my all into this breakdown, so pretty please share it around, subscribe, like it, just please. Without further ado though, let's go ahead and get into this breakdown, because all these guys right here show up in the damn trailer. Alright, so with the trailer, we open up on King James's house. LeBron James is playing himself as expected, the same way Michael Jordan did, except it is kind of a made-up version of himself, because this actor will be portraying his son. Now, right away, we get a hint of something further going on in the movie, as we see the son is playing a basketball game on his handheld device, and that basketball court almost exactly resembles the court that they end up on later on in the movie. The father-son theme in this movie derives from LeBron James wanting his son to be a basketball player to fill his potential there, when his son is more interested in things like coding, video games, building programs, and I'm sure that'll definitely come into play when they get sucked into a virtual world. Looking here in the background, this might be the Warner Brothers headquarters, and LeBron James is having a meeting, most likely for some sort of made-up movie in that universe. In the background, we can see Marvin the Martian, and what appears to be the character of Dot from the Animaniacs. The Animaniacs actually make a ton of appearances in this trailer. Moving forward into the trailer, we are still here at the Warner Brothers studios. LeBron James has had his meeting and is also having a fight with his son about his future. The elevator turns into the letters AG, which stands for Al G, the name of Don Cheadle's character, the villain of the film. But as far as getting into the Space Jam world, instead of being sucked into a golf course the way we did in the first Space Jam movie with Michael Jordan, we will be taken to a virtual world where all the Warner Brother IP characters live. So this room right here contains every single movie that Warner Brothers has ever made, and is all connected, sort of Wreck-It Ralph style. In following his son, LeBron James gets sucked into this Warner Brothers world, and right about here is where I was losing my mind. Okay, just gonna be listing off some of the stuff we see here. It looks like every separate property is divided into planets in this Warner Brothers serververse, so right away we get to see the Game of Thrones planet. Moving on here to the Wizard of Oz planet. Even off to the side, you can see like a little movie planet, just like a behind-the-scenes crew. On the right side though, that is the Flintstones planet. You can make out some of the rocks and the houses for the Flintstones, along with some dinosaurs. I like how when LeBron James gets sucked into the Wizard of Oz world, he gets hit with a tornado, just like in the movie. We then cut to Don Cheadle introducing himself to LeBron James. Now, Don Cheadle's character is just this AI being that controls all the Warner Brothers servers, and for some reason, only wants to give LeBron James' son back after they play a basketball game. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense, but whatever, this movie's already looking awesome enough. The rules for the basketball game seem pretty simple. LeBron James has a couple of hours to round up his team members. Al G decides to start him off in search of his team members in the Toon world. Now, when this sign spins, we get to see some of the other worlds in this serververse. We get places like Neptune, Mars, and even Hogwarts. So yes, the Harry Potter world exists in here. Probably the part I enjoyed the most right here is LeBron James being thrown into the Toon worlds. The soundtrack for this trailer, I think, is also sounding pretty great. They're not only doing callbacks to previous songs in the first Space Jam movie by kind of remixing them, they are also throwing in iconic Looney Tunes sounds. Immediately when put into the Toon world though, LeBron James becomes 2D animated the way he should be, giving us a mix of both worlds where he finally gets to meet Bugs Bunny. We are then treated to a quick cut of a spaceship flying through. Now, one of the planets they pass through here is the Maltese Falcon, a movie from the 1940s. I guess just something random to fill up the space. But a world I definitely want to go into here is the Gotham City planet, which actually seems to be shared by Metropolis, the same way Batman vs. Superman set up the new canon that Gotham and Metropolis are brother and sister cities right next to each other. Because you could definitely see the difference in the daylight, where one is Gotham City and one is a little more cleaner looking, so that's definitely Metropolis. Next up, LeBron James, seeming to understand that he can only pick Warner Brothers characters for his team, starts listing off people he knows. Now, he's got here Superman as his #1 choice, Gandalf, King Kong, and he's about to write down Iron Giant. The best part of after this list though is just the look Bugs Bunny gives to LeBron James. Like, boy, you really think Superman gonna be in our... We can't even get Man of Steel 2. How are we gonna get Superman in Space Jam 2? Also worth noting that he's wearing Marvin the Martian's helmet, which lets us know that's what they're traveling in throughout this movie, going planet to planet. They seem to have hijacked Marvin the Martian's spaceship so that they can travel to these different Warner Brother IP locations. Bugs Bunny seems to get a little bit realistic with LeBron James and tells him that the people we need are the people who have already won a basketball game in the first Space Jam movie, rounding up the Looney Tunes squad. Now, here's some backstory from the movie that the trailer doesn't really let you know. The Looney Tunes have sort of broken up. Some of the characters are no longer speaking to each other or have decided to live on different planets, have separate lives with each other, and a main part of this movie will be to round up all the Looney Tunes characters, make amends, and have them part of this basketball game, which will also be how we see some of these different planets. Like we heard from the director, Lola Bunny will be living on Themyscira, where Wonder Woman lives. One of these characters will be living on the Mad Max planet. That might be the Roadrunner, because he seems like a guy who would be running fast everywhere. They even mention a deleted scene of Pepe Le Pew, who was originally supposed to be part of this team, hiding away in the Casablanca movie planet. Really would love to hear some of your guys' guesses to where you think some of these Looney Tunes characters will be hiding in the movie and where they have to go find them. It looks like it doesn't take them that long to round up all the Toon Squad characters because they have them here in training, a scene that we are very familiar with that happened in the first Space Jam movie. I love how Lola is part of the coaching side of this training, like, I'm a real player, let's show you guys how to do this. Another interesting thing worth noting that's just some fun trivia in the Space Jam world, Yosemite Sam here is having his guns and is shooting them off. There was a big controversy when the new Looney Tunes cartoon was rebooted on HBO Max and they took away his guns. In the movie, it looks like that won't be a problem at all. In this next shot here, it becomes pretty clear that once they move planet to planet, so will their bodies change to fit the planet they are on. Here on the basketball court and changing from 2D animated to a realistic 3D look. And one thing I'm surprised made it into this movie is the classic Toon Squad jerseys. You see right here, Bugs Bunny is wearing the same jerseys from the very first Space Jam film. So that kind of lets us know the first Space Jam movie did happen in their universe, whether it was a movie that these Looney Tune characters were acting in, or it was an event that really happened for them and is something they remembered. If this is in the movie, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some sort of Michael Jordan cameo. That's just awesome to see the jerseys there. These next couple of shots go by super fast, so I'm just going to list off the characters that appear on screen. Starting off here, an obvious one, we have the Mystery Machine, which is the Scooby-Doo van. We even see Scooby-Doo popping out his head a little bit in this trailer, only for it then to immediately cut to the Iron Giant. I love anytime I get to see the Iron Giant. It's one of my favorite childhood movies. This film is all just pure nostalgia. It's interesting though that Iron Giant is in this film when he also showed up in Ready Player One, and that was a Universal movie, so man, the Iron Giant can't get a sequel, but he sure loves to cameo. One of the buildings we catch here in the background says Evil Scientist. This is a reference to a popular building that would show up in the Looney Tunes cartoons that would have this little green evil scientist responsible for making Big Gosmer a member of the team. Cutting to more shots of popular characters here. Some of the ones I found that I could list off here is Mega Gorilla on his little unicycle, Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, Flintstone characters with Fred, Wilma, Barney. We also have the Jetsons in their flying car in the background. Captain Caveman flying into frame. Another classic cartoon, Jabberjaw. We even have a Thundercats character in the background here. Pretty funny because they just announced a Thundercats movie in the works from the Godzilla vs. Kong director. That appears to be the character of Chitara. They even go ahead and throw in some newer, lesser known characters in their movies. Like this is a character from an animated film called Smallfoot that didn't perform all that well, but they threw them in just to be a background character. You can also spot the Animaniacs for a quick second here in the bottom frame. You also have Penelope Pitstop in her iconic car here. That is a Dick Dastardly character. My boy King Kong coming in after his battle with Godzilla. These are the iconic planes that King Kong faces off in his movie. The next frame here is where I start really geeking out because it's some characters I'm more familiar with. We have Algie, the villain, played by Don Cheadle, but right behind him we have an agent from the Matrix movies. You also have someone being an imposter of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, an evil monkey from The Wizard of Oz, even Pennywise the Clown. We knew Pennywise the Clown would be in the movie. I hope we get to pop into the Stephen King or Pennywise world. And these next couple seconds is where I just lost my damn marbles because there are too many characters here, but I'm going to try and list off as many as I found here for you guys. First, you have a character from the Peter Pottermore show and his air balloon that time travels. You have Space Ghost there. Again, you have Mega Gorilla, Scooby-Doo characters, even good old Velma, Yogi Bear, the dinosaur from the Flintstones whenever Fred gets off work. Even an obscure reference right here to Frankenstein Jr. and Buzz Conroy. Another shot here of Penelope pit stop in her car. Really, you could be spending hours zooming into all the characters in the background here because there are so many. The other big important thing you want to notice though in this shot is if you look at the scoreboard, it says followers 834,000. And that's because a big plot contention in this movie is that the main goal Al-G has, if LeBron James loses the basketball game, is Al-G gets to keep all of LeBron James's Instagram followers. I'm not making that up. That is happening as part of the Space Jam movie. They're fighting for Instagram followers. Okay. Probably my second favorite shot from this trailer is the Goon Squad here in an Avengers-style lineup. A couple things to notice though in this shot. One, Wile E. Coyote is number 13. I think that's pretty funny because unlucky number 13. And Wile E. Coyote is just known for being this character whose traps backfire on him whenever he's trying to go after the Roadrunner. You also have Daffy Duck here in a suit. Now it's being said Daffy Duck might actually play the coach of the team or sort of like the owner of the Goon Squad. That's why he's in a suit. But we've also seen him in a jersey and other promotional work, so it might be a big thing that he steps on into the game at the end of it to save everybody. Also, because he's really small and you might miss him, you have here Speedy Gonzalez at the bottom next to Bugs Bunny. He's going to be voiced by comedian Gabriel Iglesias. Really, my favorite addition to this team is just the character of Gosmer right there in the background. Just that giant red boy looking awesome. And next shot here, we're introduced to the villain team for the Space Jam movie. These are known as the Goon Squad, and they're going to be made up of members from the NBA and WNBA. In the previous movie, they were made up of only NBA stars and they were just given these monster-like abilities. Here, it's kind of going to be the same thing, but each character has their own unique characteristic. We have here a Falcon Eagle-looking one, a player that seems to be a robot with electricity powers, another player here resembling a snake, a spider-looking player, one that reminds me of the villain from Spider-Man Far From Home, Hydro Man, just with water abilities, and of course, if you have a water player, you gotta have a fire player. It's also worth noting that in the background of this robot doing his thing, you get to see here the 1989 Joker. He's even standing to some members from the Mad Max movie. You even have two Catwomans next to each other, one from the 60s TV series and Michelle Pfeiffer from the 1989 movie. We are then treated to some action shots within the game. Now, I haven't played basketball in a minute here with this belly, but I don't remember the last time you had to shoot up into the scoreboard. Gonna be interesting what kind of rules are in play in this Space Jam game. This feels like it's just gonna be the highlight of the movie, seeing the Goon Squad come together, put their hands all in that pile, and go off against the Goon Squad. Other things we can spot here in the background are popular monuments from cartoons, like we have the Acme rocket, Duck Rogers' spaceship. Now, a surprise member of the Goon Squad will actually be LeBron James' son in the movie. You can see him here sitting on the bench with the other players. At the beginning of the trailer, LeBron James called his son very talented on the court, so this is just a way to spite his father into going like, fine, you call me a star player, I'll play against you, but at the end of the day, I still want to be my own person. Another beautiful open shot here of so many characters in the background as LeBron James is about to leap into a dunk. Starting off left to right here, we get two penguins next to each other, one from the Batman 60s series, then you also have Danny DeVito's penguin, Jim Carrey's The Mask, Mr. Freeze behind him, along with another agent, even Pennywise, they're still standing then. As we move along with some other Game of Thrones characters, we also get to see the Joker from the 60s Batman series right there. I was hoping to find Joaquin Phoenix's Joker because he's set to be in here as well. In the background, there's even more characters that I can barely make out, though I do see another Thundercats Lion-O. It's also worth noting that they use the Scoob designs from the most recent animated movie for the Scooby-Doo characters in this movie. On this left side here, we have the Animaniacs Tower. You even have Froghorn Leghorn's barn house from his cartoon series. Moving on to LeBron James doing a dunk, cutting to Lola Bunny, giving you a wink, and right there, in love with the new Lola Bunny. My favorite shot from the trailer, hands down. LeBron James does overcalculate that jump and end up on the floor, leading to Tweety saying classic, and the reason he says that is because this is a callback to the first Space Jam movie where Michael Jordan did the exact same thing and Tweety Bird was flying around his head. Giving us here an ending gag for the trailer, we have some Clockwork Orange characters, more Mad Max characters, Game of Thrones characters, You also have Blue Falcon and Dynama here in the background. And as Granny is doing her 3-point shot with a senior discount, we also get to see the 60s Robin right there. And that trailer to me was absolutely bonkers, fantastic, so much fun. I really like the way this Space Jam movie looks. Looks like it's going to be so much fun, and they said they're wanting to make this a franchise, so we could see more things in the future. The Looney Tunes returning. Let me know if there were any Easter eggs or characters in the backgrounds that I might have missed that you guys went ahead and caught. There are so many in there. I definitely missed a bunch of people, but be sure to leave me your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.